this short tutorial on extensive use of the A-B comparison functionality. Inqqa has been designed to help you as a professional find root causes hidden in large text volumes, present the insights our AI finds, and get to informed action faster. So, in our previous tutorial, you have seen the basic functionality of the A-B comparison, so I consider you are already up to speed with that. And I want to show you some more in-depth comparisons you can make with the A-B comparison functionality. So, we do the same project. We jump into Visualize immediately. This is a project which is finished. Let's sort on amount. So this is our basic distribution of topics in our data. We can make basic comparisons, but now let's say we want to make a more elaborate one, for instance on the age categories. So for age categories we have a few of them, which might be interesting to dive into a little bit more than just a simple comparison between one group and another one. So what we can do is we select one, we click Add Comparison, we see that it's replicated, and then we make another selection. So an A-B comparison typically is a comparison between two groups, but Inqqa actually allows you to add more. So if you continue to click Add Comparison, you can see that the last selection I made is replicated, and I can select another one. So I can do this for all the groups I have. And there we go. What you see now is that we have made an overall view of all the different age groups we have available in our data. There's no limit on the amount of clicks you can do here, so this screen easily gets overpopulated and will make it quite unreadable for you. So there are two things basically you can do if you want to do a more in-depth analysis. You can say, well, I see here in a general form that there are some differences which are interesting. For instance, this category is of particular interest because there's one standing out. I can go down and I can select teams and colleagues, where I can see, well, now I can see that the data is pretty much evenly distributed amongst the different age categories, but there's a slight difference for the third group, which is 35 to 40 category, and I can make my narrative around that by just selecting this one instead of the overpopulated screen, which shows me everything. So this is a way you can work on it within Inqqa. If you want to do this even more structured, I would recommend you simply export the count. So this will give you an Excel file and give you a table which has all these numbers in them. And you can pick a visualization which is maybe more easy for you to read or more easy for you to present your point. Inqqa has been designed to make this step easy and accessible, and makes it easy for you to explore, but under certain circumstances it might be more beneficial for you to use some other tool to do your actual presentation. So this is one more extensive comparison you can make on different categories. What you can also do, which will give you a little bit more work in terms of clicking, if for instance you want to do something like a benchmark where you say, well, I want to compare my 25 to 30 category to all the other categories. So this is something which is different than comparing every single group to the other group. So for instance, if I want to say, well, this group particularly stands out to me because it's 25 to 30 and I want to compare it to all the other respondents, if I click on Add Comparison, again it will lock it and it will give me the option to make a selection here. If I deselect this one, I will get everything again. But now I have made a comparison for this group against everything including that group, which is not what I want. So if I select this one, it will select everything, and then I can deselect this one, and then it will give me an overview of the specific group 25 to 30 in comparison to all the other groups which I have. So this is sort of like making a benchmark. I can do this obviously for all the different groups, and then I will have a benchmark for all the different groups against all the other respondents, which are not including the actual group. So this is something you can do to make it a little bit more extensive. This might be relevant for an age category, but it might be more applicable to some sort of another background variable, specifically for something like a job function or a job level. It might be very interesting to make a benchmark against all the other groups, not including the group you're looking at. So that's one. If I want to segment further, that's also possible. So Inqqa has no limit here, so you do have to make sure that you make comparisons which are sensible. So for instance, if I want to say, well, I am interested in the male population, but not just the male population of my respondents, but the ones which are young. For instance, a specific range from 25 to 35, including two groups. I can simply lock this one. And obviously it might be interesting to compare this one to the female respondents in the same age category, or to male respondents in the other age range. So let's, for instance, now say, well, I want to compare this against the female respondents. I will simply just deselect this one and select this one. And now what you see is the gender differs, male, and here it's female, and the age categories are the same. And this actually gives me quite an insightful narrative to say, well, there's something about salary where my male respondents are saying more, and this might be more dominant to this specific age range than for another one. You can explore, obviously. There's no limit to it, so if you make a nonsensical comparison, Inqqa will totally allow you to do that. So be careful with that, so you draw the right conclusion. So if you say, well, I want to have a look at females who are within this specific age range and have a tenure here, and I will just lock it. You see the numbers are dropping here, but I want to compare them against something completely different. There's no limitation here. So if I want to compare it against every gender group within every age category, but I want to make these I want to select these job levels in a specific function. And Inqqa, there's no warning that this is quite a nonsensical comparison, but so now you're comparing females within an age category, within a tenure, against a completely different selection, which doesn't derive an interesting insight for you, but Inqqa allows you to do it. So be careful with what you select. It's very nice that you have all these options in making very specific drilled down comparisons, but always keep in mind and be able to retrace what you're actually comparing, so you're not comparing apples with pears. Alright, this shows you quite some options. I hope this will help you in forming a nice narrative from your data. If you have any questions, please reach out to us at any time. Have a nice day.